If you are creative and interested in becoming a better storyteller through creating your own whiteboard animations, then this course is for you. Whether you are an artist or have no drawing skills, this course will teach you how to create captivating whiteboard animations using a very cool software called VideoScribe. VideoScribe is the most widely used program for creating whiteboard animations because of its intuitiveness, image library, and low cost. It's widely used by business and website owners, marketers, YouTubers, and small business owners to spread their products or services. It is also used by online instructors who want to create high-quality explainer and engaging videos to their students. By the end of this course, you will learn how to download and install the software, how to open it and create a project, the general overview of the software, how to add images into the canvas, how to adjust image properties, how to use the camera tool, how to add text into the canvas, how to add background music into the canvas, how to record voiceover, how to change background color and texture, how to add GIF files into the canvas, importing voiceover that you've made outside, and how to add charts into the canvas, how to create a sample video animation from scratch. And lastly, you'll learn how to render and export your video completely. I would like to sincerely thank you for joining this course, and I look forward to seeing you in the classroom. The first thing you need to do is to head on to your browser, open your browser and come straight away to the search bar over here and just search for VideoScribe.co, and it's going to bring you over here. VideoScribe is powered by Sparkle, animated videos made easy. Easy drag and drop animated video maker for beginners to professionals. VideoScribe helps you turn your ideas into show-stopping animated realities. So actually you can have a preview of what you can expect, people who have used it, and what you should create, what you could create with VideoScribe. You can do quite a lot with this very animating platform. You can just go ahead and have a preview and a look at what are the key functions and features of it. But then if you want to try for 7 days, you can come to free trial for 7 days over here, or you can just click on buy now because it's one of the cheapest video animation software that I have seen. Or you can come to products over here and just click on this drop down and you can come to free trial over here. So once you click on free trial, it's going to pop up and bring you to where you're going to register. This is a 7-day free trial. You put in your name, your email, and everything, and you will have access with this free trial. You will have access to, there's no credit card, no obligation. So during the 7-day free trial, you get access to all of the VideoScribe's features. The only limitation is when you download something, when you download a feature, it's going to carry some watermark. So that's just the basic difference. But then you will be able to explore all of it and have an idea of what it does and what you can do with it. So just put in your email address, full name, and then passwords. Obey the characters and you register. So once you register, you'll be able to have access to download it. Nowadays, you have VideoScribe online as well, so you can use it online if you so wish. So the next thing is to open the software after downloading and installing. It's a click-through software, very easy to install. So once you just come over, you can see it over here, VideoScribe. So once you just click on it, and you can see it coming up, VideoScribe. So you just put in your email and password and just click on login if you want to start logging in, or if you want to create a new account, you can go ahead and create from here as well. Or if you want to work offline, you can as well work offline. It all depends on you. If you want to work offline, most of the features you will not have access to them. But if you want to see direct features, the most updated features in VideoScribe, then you have to enable working online and you just log in directly. So let's say you want to log in and work online. You just click on this and you start working with the software. So now we have logged in. So upon login, this is the screen that you are going to be welcomed with. So the first thing you need to notice is that you have the previously saved work or works that you are currently working on. You will see them all over here, listed over here. You can sort them accordingly from the newest to the oldest to lettered A to Z, or newest modified or oldest modified or thereabout. And over here, you can click on this to create a new scribe, or you can open an existing scribe that you have saved somewhere in your computer or in another external drive. You can just click on open and you navigate to that location where you saved it locally, and then you can be able to open. And then you can have recent scribe, which is what we have over here. Then you have online scribes. There are so many online scribes that if you want to have access to, you can also have access. And you have templates. If you want to work on templates, or you start working from templates, you can still see any of them, and then you can click to start working with templates, depending. So before we go any far, we need to understand the key settings in Sparkle. So you can access the key settings in Sparkle by just coming down here to the bottom left, and you can see this gear icon. You just click on it and you have access to the user preferences. So the first thing you need to notice is the language. Right now it's set to English. You can change language if you want, or you can manage your Sparkle account from here, and you can change the scribe defaults. For example, the transition time between one image to another usually is 1 second. You can change it to default, maybe 0.5, and you can change the pause time is 0.5 seconds, and then the maximum draw time is 8.0 seconds. And then you can have the image quality, usually 800 pixel. You can enable or disable the view extend tooltips and the timeline bar quick menu step. Okay, you can enable all this, but usually when I'm starting, I don't touch any of these. Depending on what I'm going to create, I can always play around with the default very nicely. So once you're done setting up, you can just hit on this tick icon to accept everything. So the next thing is we try to create a new project or a new scribe. So you just click create a new scribe and you brought in over here. So this is a very blank canvas. So once you're here, you will see that there's nothing here. So the next thing is, let me try to take you through some of the key features in VideoScribe. The first one you see at the top left is the save icon. You want to create a project, you can just go ahead and save, and you can have save as in cases when you are working on a project and you want to save it as a different name or a different folder or using different location. You can cut, you can copy, you can paste, you can do all that from here. And then over here you have the scribe music. There are a bunch of music in the library. You can just click and you have access to different kind of music from here. So many music, you can see them. Page 1, page 2, page 3. Later on, I will show you how to use all of them. So this is music, and then this is voiceover. You can click to have voiceover. You can import voiceover, or you can make voiceover within the scribe. Over here, you have the background option. You can change the background option, and down here, you have the scribe hand tool. You can change it from here. And this icon simply means you can start playing your scribe from scratch. Okay, this is from scratch. And this is the icon that you play at a particular selected image. You can start from somewhere, okay, not from scratch. This is from scratch, this start from somewhere. And then over here, you can share the scribe in different kind of formats. This is where you click to download your scribe at the end of it all. So this is the main canvas. You can see it over here. It's empty. Down here, you have access. You can move left, right, up and down using these arrows. And then you have the zoom in and out tool over here. Open to full fit to screen over here. You can fit this canvas to the entire screen if you so wish. And then later on, I will show you how to use the add new image button over here, and then add text, and then the add charts. Okay, add new chart icon over here. And down here, we have the camera view options. Later, I will explain everything in detail. So the next thing that I want to show us is how to add an image into the canvas, how to bring in an image to create our story. Okay, so to add an image into the canvas, all you need to do is to come to the bottom right over here to the add new image tool over here. You just click on it and you have access to this platform. Okay, so what you see to the right is the recently used images that I have used on my different projects. Okay, so you can see them over here, up to 5 pages. So you can see them multiple pages. These are images that I have added into different projects that I have worked on. And you can see these are recently used, and you can see recommended images. If you have some recommended images based on what you have been working on, you will see them over here. So these are recommended images. And you can have purchased images in cases when you have purchased images where you see it, and then you have different kind of other images depending on what kind of message you want to try to create or you are developing. So you have arrows over here, a bunch of them, you can see them different pages, and you have buildings over here depending on what kind of story do you have. You want to tell a story about houses or about companies or about buildings or they about. You have different kind of call outs when people are speaking. You can easily attach any. You have different kind of emojis. You can have money, different types of money, people of different types, different situations, different scenarios of people, okay, different conditions depending on what your story or your message is. You have female, you have male people, you have scenery of different types. You can just go ahead and just have a preview in cases when you have to create a story. You can know where exactly to go on and search for or and find. This is technology. You have different kind of technologies, the phones, the computers, the earpiece, and the cameras and thereabout. And then you have vehicles of different types. If you want to tell a story about different types of vehicle, you can be sure that you are going to find something related to what you are going to talk about over here. And then you have alphabets of different characters. You have them online, and you have animals of different types. Any kind of animal you want to target, you can see it over here. Different kind of animals. You have animals, animated alphabets, and then you have backdrops, different kind of backdrops in cases when you want to apply backdrops to your stories. You can see them over here when creating different kind of content. Okay, so you have body parts all over here. You have business features. You can see them, different kind of businesses, ideas or things that you can easily use to tell people about your business. You have cartoons of different types. You can just check around and you see different kind of reactions, different kind of scenarios showcasing your message. So you have celebrations of different types. Okay, depending on what message you want to send, you will find an image that you can easily attach and then reconnect and everything to make meaning out of it. So you can see different types over here, different categories, different class. You have GIFs even online, and you have music online if you want to bring in. You have science, you've got shapes over here, and so many more. Okay, so many more. So the first thing that I think I should tell you that can easily help you not continuously be searching through the different kind of categories is you can add a search item over here. So for example, I want to search something like social media. I can just come all the way over here and just click on this. And you can see different kind of things that can depict social media. For example, I always like to pull this one. So all you need to do is just to click and you have it attached into your canvas. So this is social media, for example, something related. I can click again and maybe I can search something like computer. Okay, you can search as well. Depending on what kind of message you are trying to send, you just wait a second and you can see different kind of computers, people working on computer, different reactions, different cartoons, different kind of scenarios. Okay, you can see people working on the computer. You can select on anyone and you can see it will just enter. Okay, default is at the center. You can just easily select and drag and move it around. So you can add as many pictures as you want depending on what kind of message you are sending. Like I said, you can search for another thing, maybe hospital. You can just search for hospital and you see something related to that. Okay, so you can see different kind of hospital equipment, people in the hospital, and cartoons of different kind of hospital things. So you are just free to just take on anyone depending on your message. So this is how to basically bring in images into the canvas. You can bring in image into the canvas. One thing you should pay attention to is as you are bringing the image, you can see them in the timeline. Later on, I will show you all the key features that you need to understand about the arrangement of the images and how they are going to be appearing as you are playing them in the canvas. Okay, so this is how to bring in image. You can bring in additional image in cases when you have images that are not here. You can easily visit other sites and bring in images from there, or you can bring in external images into the canvas as well. So to bring in an external image, you can come down here and see import an SVG, GIF, PNG, JPEG, or zipped file. You can all import from here. You just click on this and you can navigate to wherever you want to bring in that kind of file. Maybe it's within your computer and you've saved it somewhere. For example, let's say I have this data and I want to bring it in. I'll just select it and just say open, and it's going to come in. It's going to be imported just like so. So you have the option to select whether it's going to come in draw or move in or fade in, whichever one you select. I can leave it at draw, and then you can say reveal or sketch. Okay, so let's say sketch, and you have the option to play over here to have a preview of how this is going to be played. So you just click on it to have a preview. So this is just a preview of how you're going to have this very image that you've imported into your work as well. So you just select this and it's going to bring it into the timeline. You have the option to zoom in and out to adjust the sizing over here very easily, and you can play around with them also. If you cannot see the images you are looking for also in this panel, you can also search for those images on the web. If you have the URL or you can visit a particular website, you can just click on this and you can paste in the URL of that particular location of the image, and it's going to bring it in directly by just pasting the URL. It's going to bring it in, and you can import it very easily. So basically, this is how to import image into the canvas. Alright, so now that we have learned how to import an image, the next thing is let's try to adjust the image properties. Let's try to see how to use and adjust the image properties. So for example, if we select this particular image, we have two options to look at its properties. From the canvas over here, you can double click on it and you have the image properties over here. So the first thing you see is a sample of the image. You can click on it to have a preview of how it is going to be drawn, or how it's going to come into the timeline, and you can see it just like so, very easily done and perfectly. From the left, you see the select image option. You can go back to select image. You can come to the graphic filters. This is where you play around with the blurriness nature of the image. You can see the glow. You can change the color also from here, from black to any color. Okay, I think I like it at black. You can change the brightness, increase or decrease. You can change the saturation, increase or decrease. You can change the contrast, and you can play around, enable drop shadow or enable inner shadow or bevel. You can enable all this. Okay, and next you have the drawing options. The full color usually contains these 4 colors. You're free to change according to your message if you have another color, or you can check from the standard color, and you can pick in any color and change it accordingly. If you want to change the color from this to this one, you can easily change, and once you select, you can see a preview about how that color is going to look like on the person or on the place you have selected. This is full color, and you are free to check. This is the drawing options. The first is how it's going to be drawn. Is it going to be draw, or is it going to move in, or is it going to fade in, or is it going to morph? Okay, so for drawing is what we have previewed. If it is a move in, you have to specify the location, the direction. Okay, which direction do you want it to come from? The top, from the side over here, or diagonally, or you can see it from the bottom, or diagonal to the top left, to the top right, or thereabout. Whichever location you have to specify, and then you can specify what kind of moving. Is it smooth or overshoot or bounce or uniform movement? Whichever one. Usually I leave it as smooth, and then you can check the coloration. You can leave it a full color, or you can leave it at outline, or you can make it grayscale or hot or anyone. Okay, so you can select easily. And down here you have the option to make it solid, 100% solid, or you can reduce the solidness. Okay, you can reduce the opacity. This is 100% solid, or you can reduce the opacity also if you want. You can rotate it from here by just increasing this. You can see it's going to be rotating, and you can have a preview about the rotation also. You can see it is tilting a little bit, or you can just click at the center and put in a given angle, maybe for example 40 degrees, and you can just click on OK, and you can see it has tilted. So once you click it to have a preview, you can see it is tilted already. Okay, so you can see, because we put it as move in, you can see it tilted at 45 degrees. So this is about the rotation. You can bring it back to 0 because it's not making much sense. So let's keep it at 0. The next thing is the flipping. You can flip an image. For example, right now it's like this. You can flip it, and you can see it changes the direction. Okay, the female is now here and the male is here. So you can also flip it to another direction. You can make it top to bottom like that, or you can change the direction also the other way. You can play around with it accordingly as you so wish. Now, one of the most important thing is the animation. So once you see this at this bottom, this explains the timeline, the preview, the entire time the image is going to take when coming in and when going out. The most important thing is the timing. So this is going to start at 19 seconds and is going to end at 28.5 seconds. So this is total time is going to take from the coming in to the end of the animation. The first thing you should pay attention to is the animation time. This is the time it takes for the image to be drawn completely. So the default is 8 seconds. You can increase or decrease accordingly. You can increase or decrease the timing, and you can see the total timing decreasing or increasing accordingly. And then this is the pause time. So the pause time is default at 0.5 seconds. That means the time it will take after drawing for it to pause, then it will transit to the next stage. Okay, so if you want it to pause longer before you go to the next image, then you can increase this time, the pause time. For example, you make it 6 seconds, which means after the drawing, you want the image to wait for 6 seconds before it transits to the next one. And the period of transition is set at 1 second. You can increase or decrease that. The time it takes for the animation to move from this particular image to the next image is 2 seconds. Okay, so you can increase or decrease that. So depending on your message, you can align. Later on, I will show you how to align the message completely. So now you can save changes, or you can refer back to previous, or you can move ahead. Okay, or you can select this to save the changes. And another thing, the last thing is drawing hand. You can just click on it and you have the option to use no hand, or you can have different types of hands from here. You can use any of them, or you can see recently used hands. You can see the pens, different types of pens. You can see them over here. You can just check around. You can see them different types of pens. And you have the rosy. If you want to use rosy, you can see different roses. Okay, depending on your message, you can just select any. You can see matte, different types of hands. You can see them all the way from here. So depending on what kind of hands do you want to use, you can easily select from this and you can specify that as the hand that you are going to use. So let's go back to the hand options, and let's say we kept everything as it is, and maybe we make it a moving, or you can make it a draw, but then we decrease the timing to 2 seconds, or you can increase, let's say, to 3.5 seconds, and then we decrease the waiting time. All you need to understand is as you are increasing or decreasing the time, the total time also is increasing or decreasing simultaneously. So let's say you can include strokes, or you don't want to include strokes. You can always play it to see the preview like I've explained. And once you are certain with the timing it is going to take and the pause time and the transition time, then you can click on OK and it's going to come in. So this is how the first way to access the image properties. The second way to access the image property is once you have selected the image, or you can come to the timeline over here. Once you have the image selected, you have different kind of icons over here. So the first one to the top, to the bottom left is the element properties, which is the image property. What kind of element is this? And then the properties over here. You can click on it and it will still going to bring you to the same place, okay, where you can edit all the image properties. Another shorter way to do it is you can come to this small arrow. You click on this small arrow and you have access to other features as well. The animation time, you can see it 3.5. You can see the pause time, you can see it over here, increase or decrease, and you can see the transition time, you can increase or decrease. And you have the camera tool also. Later I will show you how to use the camera tool during your animation time or as you are creating your video within the canvas. So this is basically image properties and how to edit or increase or decrease or play around with the properties. So let's say at this point, I would like to see the sample animation and then the timing of what we have added and all the editings. You can just come ahead or go ahead and play this, and it's going to play from this particular image that we've selected. So let's click on this and you can see. The next thing that I want to show us is how to use the camera option, okay, the camera tool to specify the positions of our image. For example, now that we have added all the images, okay, we have added 4 images. We can see as we select each and every one of it, you can see the preview from the timeline. And one thing we should pay attention to is this camera option. Okay, so this is the set camera current position. So if you are certain with this position of this image and you want to keep it here even while playing the video or the animation from the scratch, you can set this as the camera position. So to do that, you just select it. You can come all the way here and just click on this, and you can see it has been selected as the camera position. If you want to change it, you are free to clear the camera position from here. This is enable and disable over here. You can do the same also from here. You can just click on this to enable, or to view the camera's position. You can click on this and you can make it fixed at that position. So this is camera position. You can select each individual images and select the camera position to keep it at that position, or you can select multiple. For example, you can come to the timeline, select the first one, hold down the shift key, and then select the last one, and you can see all of them have been selected. And if you are certain this is the position you want to fit in all of them, you can just come over here and click the camera position, and it's going to snap all of them to that very position. So this is about how to use the camera tool in the canvas to make sure that you've snapped everything. So now when you start playing, you will see each and every one of them will maintain its same location while the images are being animated. Okay, so you can just come all the way here, and let's say we start playing from the beginning, and you can see this is the position of this first image, and it's going to take that position even while playing the video. Okay, so you can see the second one is going to maintain that very position that we have just put for it. Same way to the third one. It's going to be at that very position because that's where the camera position had been positioned. So just like so, it has just shown us the preview. So this is how to use the camera. Another tool that I want to introduce us to is the enable and disable tool over here, the hide element. You can see it over here. This is it. If you select an image, you can hide that particular image if you want by just clicking on this, and it's going to be hidden from the canvas. You can hide it or enable it, disable or enable it in the canvas. You may not want to delete it permanently, or you may not want to delete it from the canvas. Maybe you may need it along the way during the editing of the video, but you just want to temporarily disable it. So you can just use this I button to just disable or enable it as appropriate as a time or as a story unveils. Another thing is you can delete a particular image by just coming to this, select the image, and you can see the delete icon over here. So you can press delete, and it's going to pop up that this is going to remove selected element, and once you say yes, it's going to delete it. Okay, you can undo that as well, or you can press delete while you are selecting that particular element. You can press delete on your keyboard, and it's going to perform the same function. Okay, you just click on this and it's going to be deleted. So this is deleting. Once you select another element, you have another option down here, which is the lock element function. So once you click on this element is going to be locked at this position, and no changes is going to be applied to it. Once you lock a given element, you cannot change it. Okay, you can see you cannot change it. Nothing can be changed. This place is going to be the permanent position for it until you come back to the same element and unlock it. That is when you have the option to change different kind of things also from here. So you have now understood everything, the image and the camera option, as well as the properties of the image. So the next thing we are going to look at is how to add text into the canvas, how to bring in text into the canvas. So the next thing we are going to look at is how to bring in text into the canvas. Okay, so to bring in text, you have the text feature over here, the text tool, add text tool over here at the bottom right. So you just click on it and you will be you'll be prompted with this add text platform or the add text menu. So you have the option to write your text. For example, welcome to my channel over here, and you can see that the default, you can play around with the different text features. Okay, for example, the fonts, you can bring in different fonts. As you can see them, you have a bunch of different fonts. If you want to, different font styles, if you want to add any according to your choice, you can add in any font style of your choice from here, and you can change the look. You want to make it light, or you want to make it black or regular or thin, you can select from here, and you can see thin, this is black, and this is light. If you want to make it lighter. And you can check out for more fonts over here. You can see any kind of fonts you are looking out for. You can see them different type of fonts. These are imported fonts. Okay, you can see them over here. If you want, you can add other fonts also into the canvas by just selecting a particular font and just coming here to pressing on this plus icon will add that particular font into the imported fonts. Okay, so it has just been added. This balloon by Jan, you can add it as well. I used to like it. So once you select, you can see it has been added also. Okay, into the selected, you can see it over here. You can see the ones we've just added just now. And once you are done with the more font addition, you can just click on this and it's going to go back to the normal one. Now you have other text editing features also, like the alignment. You can align left, you can align center. You can click to align center, or you can align right depending on your choice. Okay, if you want to align left, right, and center, you can do all that from here. Let's say I want to align center, and you can change the coloration of the text from here. Okay, you just click on this and you have the option to select to and put in any color of your choice. So assuming I want to go with this red color, or if you have the color, the hex value, you can just put in the value and it's going to be added directly. If you know the hex value, you just put in the code and it's going to add that particular color. So assuming I'm going with this color, I just click on this and it's just showing the preview over here. And once you click on this select icon, you can see that it's been added into your timeline, into your canvas. So assuming I want to put it at the beginning, welcome to my channel, something like an intro. Then I can put something like a handshake. So for example, this one, I can make it welcome to my channel, and then I put this handshake directly. I can just put this. I can select this image and make sure I position it at that position, and then I can come over and click on this, and then I can position it as well. So you can position text using the camera tool the same way you position the images. So you select the text and you can position it just like so. Once you hit on the camera icon, it's going to position it to this very point. So you can play around with, you can select the image, you can play around with the properties. For example, I want it to be moving and I want it to come from the top, and then I want the timing to enter the animation time to just be just like 1.5 seconds, and then the transition time 0.5, and just say okay. And then I need to specify the hands as well, the hand that's going to bring it. Assuming I want to go with this one, I just select an okay, and you can see the preview. Okay, moving from this side, smooth, and then you have these features, the animation time, the pause time, and the transition time. Everything is selected, so you can play a preview if you want. Okay, so you can see welcome, something like that, something like that. A hand is going to push the hands in. We can say okay to this. So the next thing is we can try to look at the text properties. Just like the way we have looked at the image properties, we can equally take a look at the text properties. Same way, where double clicking on it, you can see the properties. So we want it to, you can come back to the text properties features that we've just shown over here, or you can come to the graphic filter and play around with the contrast, the saturation, the brightness, and the glow, the blur effect. You can play around with all this. You can add drop shadow, you can add inner glow, inner shadow, or bevel, or thereabout. And then you have the drawing options. How do you want the text to be drawn? Right now it's set to draw with only draw the strokes, and with these properties and with this timing at default. So you can try to play a preview and have it. Let's see a preview of it. So this is how it's going to welcome to my channel. Okay, so this is a preview. You can reduce the timing depending on how you want it to play, and then you can reduce the transition as well. So let's say this is okay. And for it to start at the beginning, before getting to these images, I have to make sure that I select this one, drag this welcome, and drag this hand to the beginning. Okay, so the hand comes first, then the text. Okay, another way to access the text properties is still by selecting the text and coming over here to click on the element properties. You can delete, you can unshow and show the element, the text, and you can position the camera as well from here, and you can lock it or unlock it accordingly. So let's have a preview of this particular welcome to my channel of how it's going to look like. So I just select the first one where I can come all the way and say start playing from scratch, but I just want to see the intro, welcome to my channel. Okay, click on it and see the hand coming in, and then welcome to my channel. So this is also a preview of how I want it to be. So this is how to add text. You can add different kind of text. You can have text of any length, of any width. You can just go ahead and add anything. Thank you for watching. Okay, you can just center it, or you can leave it over here, or you can break it. Thank you for watching. You can break it something like that, and then you can change the coloration to something like this, and then you can just click and come back here, bring it here, or you can bring it at any position. You can just go ahead and click on this to put in the position, to enable the camera position, to snap it at this point. And then one other feature that I forgot to show us is the rotation tool. Once you select a given image or a given text, you can see the four corners over here. You can increase or decrease it, and you have this rotation tool that you can rotate the text accordingly. Okay, you can rotate it this way, or you can just make it straight, depending. If you want to rotate it, you can do it from here, or you can just select that rotation tool and turn it. The same thing to apply to the image as well. You can come to this rotation, you can just rotate it easily, just like so. Okay, very, very easily, and it's done very fantastically. So depending, if you want to do that, you're free to try it. So this is basically how to bring in text and how to access its properties and change accordingly. So if you want to change the hand tool also on the text, you can come to the drawing hand. Instead of the default one, you can add another hand, or you can use pens. You can have pen write the text for you. You just select it and you can see the preview. So let's say we have this pen to write this particular thank you, and let's say we say okay, and while selecting the thank you, you can have a preview from the current element from that thank you. So you can see thank you for watching. I think that kind of looks fantastic and cool. The next thing is we're going to learn how to add background music to our animation. VideoScribe comes in with a range of different background music, and you can access that by just coming to this background music over here. You can just click on this and you have access to the different background music available: Adrenaline, Ask Me Why, Be Kind, Rewind, Blue Shuffle Dance, Blue Note Brass, and you can see all of them over here. You can just click to have a preview. I used to like this one. In most of my YouTube videos, I used to use this one as my background music. You can check anyone. You can just have a preview. You can move to the next page. You can see so many of them, and you can see you can sort accordingly. You can sort according to the different kind of scenarios or different kind of conditions. If you want ambient, you know, blues, you have all genres, you have dance, you have easy, electronic, festive. You can check from any according to the message you are trying to create, and you can sort by name, by short, long, by short, long, from short to the longest, or from longest to the shortest, or slow to fast. So if you select a given audio, for example this one, I select this, you have the properties over here. For example, you can loop the track directly from here. You can loop friendly tracks, or you can loop this particular track from here. You can increase or decrease the audio from the volume of the audio from here. You can increase or decrease it. So for example, right now, if I play, you can see the volume has gone down a little. Yeah, it has gone down a little. So you can delete if you want, or you can just go ahead and add it in. Once you select this, you've added this onto the background of this particular animation that we are creating. So let me increase the volume a little bit. And if you don't have a particular audio that you want to use over here, and maybe you have a given one on the local drive or on another drive, you want to import it, you can just come all the way over here. You can import an MP3 audio track. You can just click on this and you can navigate to wherever you have it saved, and you can just go ahead and bring it in very easily. You just check around wherever you have that particular audio saved, you just select it and you can bring it in. Or you can check online if you have any URL containing the audio, you can check over here, but it has to be an MP3 format audio before it can come in. So let's say I've selected this adrenaline and I just click on this. Let's say I'm starting with everything. I have previewed it and I had it and I like it. You can just click on this and I have added this as my background music. So anytime I need to add any background music, I can just come over here and it's going to automatically override that particular one that we've just added. Okay, so this is basically how to add background music. So let's try to play the animation from beginning and let's hear the background music. So let's stop it. Let's stop the preview, and now we can see that our stories are becoming familiar and we are becoming familiar with the key features and tools in the canvas. So the next thing that I want to show us is how to record a voiceover in VideoScribe. So you can see over here, the next icon is the voiceover. If you want to make voiceover, there are cases when I make my voiceover outside of VideoScribe and then I will import it and paste it in. I will import it. I will show you how to import voiceovers and then I will show you how to make voiceovers on Scribe. Okay, so if you want to make voiceover on Scribe, you can just select this voiceover icon, just click on it, and you have the option over here to select the microphone that you want to use. What type of microphone you want to use? You can select, and you can see the bunch of microphones that you are likely going to use during the recording. I'm using Rode NT USB mic, so I can just select this, and I want this to be my mic. You can use any other mic if you have it enabled. You can play the scribe on record also. While we are recording, you can play the scribe as well. Okay, so you can be playing the scribe while the scribe is playing, or you can just go ahead and record without playing the scribe. So you can just have a preview. Later on, you can connect the message, the text, the image, and the voiceover. I'll show you how to do that very nicely. So to record your scribe, to record your voiceover, all you need to do is to press this red button over here and you will start recording immediately. 3, 2, 1. So you can say allow. Welcome to my channel. This is my channel and I hope you are learning something from this video. So you can stop and you can see it's processing the audio. So at this point, you have the option to either delete it or you can play it to have a preview of it. They allow. Welcome to my channel. This is my channel. Okay, so you can see, you can hear the voice very clearly and all that. Okay, so this is how to bring in. You can delete if you want to re-record it. You can delete or you can accept this. If you have accepted, then you can just click on this tick button and you have accepted this and it's going to be part of the voiceover. So if you have another voiceover that you have recorded somewhere, for example, I used to record my own on Audacity. I will record it and do the editing first, then I will just come all the way over here and import it. So all you need to do is to come over here. If you have your voiceover somewhere recorded, you can just come all the way and just import it. Right now, I have already inserted one. But if you don't have any, you can come over here and import it like I have explained. So let's hear the video, the voiceover and the audio background, the background music that we've added and see the synchronization, how it is being done. So let's play from beginning just to hear a sample of it. Welcome to my channel. You can see just the preview. It is now connecting and our work is becoming richer and richer and easier. So depending on what kind of message you have, very easily you can create this and you can play around with the animation very nicely. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to change the background coloration in VideoScribe. The next thing is we will learn how to add backgrounds to our canvas. We can change the background to the canvas. Right now it's pure white. You can see it over here and you can change it by just coming to this background tool. Okay, background option tool over here. Once you click on it, it's going to pop up with different kind of background. Okay, different kind of background options. This is different kind of color. You can select this, and this is no vignette. You can select any one of them and you can have a preview over here. You can check with vignette or soft vignette or hard vignette over here. So let's say with no vignette, and we can change the color from here. Let's say we select something like this and we can click on OK, and you can see the difference. So you can just select this and you can see it has changed the entire canvas to that particular color. But I think it doesn't look professional, so we can click on this and say with soft vignette. The vignette is just like the shadow, okay, that professional shadow, okay, something like this. You notice one place is lighter than the edges. You can see it, and you can change the color from here to something much better. For example, if we use something like this, something lighter, you can see with the vignette, you can see it now looking much more better and professional. You can click and check, we can say with hard vignette, then you can see the impact. Okay, hard vignette, so this is that particular shadow coming in and making it looks kind of superb and professional. So you can change it, but I think I prefer something whitish with no vignette. Let's say we go with something like white color, but a bit ash color. Okay, something like this, and we can select this. And I think we just need to make this the less rough one. Okay, something like this, and say okay. And I think this kind of looks cool and fantastic, and you can go with different kind of features. So this is how to change background coloration and to add in different kind of vignettes and other impact as well. So you can add different color of your choice. So let's say I accept this and we go with something like this. At this point, this is good, so we can take this as our background. Okay, so this is how to change background in VideoScribe. So the next thing is to learn how to change the hand tool that can write in the scribe for you. So you can do that by coming over here. You can just select it and you can select the hand tool, whatever hand tool that you want to use, and you can choose no hand, or if you want, you can choose the different hands that we have. Okay, select the default ones, or you can select different pens, different roses like we've explained earlier. So let's try to save the project first. Okay, at this point, let's try to save the project before anything happen or something happen and we lose it. So you can come to save project over here. You can just click on save, and you specify where do you want to save it. Is it inside the computer or online? If you want to save it on computer, you can just give the scribe a name. So for example, let's say this is scribe tutorial, and you can select the file location. Where do you want to save it? So let's say we go to my VideoScribe file over here, and then you can choose this. Okay, I'm going to save it over here, and now we have saved. So you have saved it, and then we can continue with the work. So the next thing I want to show us is how to add GIF images, okay, GIF files into VideoScribe. So to add a GIF file is you can just come all the way to the add image file over here, and then you can come down here and you can see GIF file, GIFs online. So you can see GIFs. Okay, usually GIFs are movable parts or movable images. Images that can move. You can see them. You can see a preview of them. And if you check and you don't see anyone that you like, you can actually create your own GIF if you so wish. You can create your own and you can import it into their canvas. You can select anyone. For example, you can select this one, and you can try to play and have a preview of how it's going to look like. You can double click on it and you can have a preview of how it's going to look like. You can see it. So this is how it's going to behave. So this is a GIF. Very short video script, very short one. So in cases when you have checked and you can't see anyone that you've liked online, I want to share with you a very cool website where I used to make and download my own GIF from directly. So to that website is called gifpaint.com. gifpaint.com. You just come to your browser and just type gifpaint.com, and it's going to bring you over here. Down here you have the canvas where you write or you create or you construct any kind of GIF that you want to use. You have the different features, for example, the fill in color, and you can see the ink dropper. You can see the GIF brush over here, and then you can increase or decrease the size of the GIF from here. If you want to put in any color, you can just put in any color, select directly accordingly on this one. And if you have a color code, you can easily put accordingly, and it's going to show that color. Down here, you have the play, the skip, and the move buttons. Okay, if you want to try to play and have a preview about the GIF you've just created. For example, let's say I want to create a GIF so maybe I want to take any color. So assuming I take this color and then I put in Okay, I just put something like welcome over here, and with this coloration. And once I'm certain everything is according to what I need, I can just click to have a preview of it, and you can see how it's going to look like. Okay, I think the speed is too much, so I pause, and then I can reduce the speed from here. Okay, so I can play it and see. I think it's still too fast. I can reduce the speed a little, and you can see it now. You can see the preview of how it is. So assuming I like this, let's say I increase it a little. Assuming I like this and I stopped. Assuming I like what I see and I want to download it, all I need to do is to come over here and say save GIF. And it's going to show you the preview. And once you're certain, you just come over here and click on download. And you can see it has just downloaded your GIF for you. Look at it over here. So if you want to bring, this is gifpaint.gif. If you want to bring it into the Scribe, so now we are back in Scribe, and assuming we don't have any GIF that we like and we want to import this GIF, we just come over here and select this, and we can navigate to the location where we have it. You can see it over here, GIF, and you can see the preview over here. You just click on open and it's going to import it. So you can see it down here. So you can increase the size. And you can double click as well to have the properties of it and graphic filters, drawing features, and then you can click to have a preview of it as well. So once you're certain, you said okay. And this is how to bring in GIF from the default ones that we have on Scribe, and they want to create another one afresh on your own and then import it. The next thing is I would like to show you how to import a voiceover that I have done outside of VideoScribe, and then maybe try to play a preview of it to override the existing one that I have made from the Scribe that I have recorded. Okay, so I can come to VoiceOver over here and just click on this and navigate to the location where let's say I delete the one that is in existence, and I can navigate, click on MP3, importing the MP3. I can just navigate to wherever I have saved it. For example, I have saved mine in this VideoScribe, and benefits of reading a book. You can just click on open and we can listen to it, have a preview. I often get asked this question. Okay, so you can see it very clearly. So you can say we've accepted this. And if you want to override, or you want to edit, or you want to reduce the volume or anything, you can always come over here and do the same thing. The next thing is how to add charts into the VideoScribe. So you can construct your own chart according to the content that you have. You can always do that by just coming down here to the add new chart button over here, the icon over here, the tool over here. You just click on it and you can see it brings in the add chart dialog over here. So the first thing you need to notice is you have labels. Okay, this is labels, for example, June, July, August, maybe how many students I have in June, July, August of this year. And then the next is we have the data values. So in June, what is the value? In July, what is the value? And in August, what's the value? And then we have the chart type. What kind of charts are you going to create? Is it a bar chart? Or you can click and see, are you creating a pie chart, or are you creating a line chart? Whichever one you can select, and you can play around with the coloration. If you want to put in color, you can just select this, and you can check the font level. What kind of fonts are you targeting in the description or in the chart values or the chart names? And then we have the label location. You have inside, outside, and none. Okay, so you can leave it at inside, and you can have the border thickness. You can increase or decrease the pixels, and you can show values if you want. So for example, let's say in January, February, and March, January, February, and March, how many students I've got. For example, I got, maybe assuming this is 200, this is 500, and then this is 1600. Okay, so I want it to be a bar chart, and I want to include color to make it look professional, and I want to leave the font style and the level to be inside, and the border thickness as 5 pixels. So once I click on OK, you can see a preview of that particular graph. Okay, so you can see the level to be inside, and you can make it outside if you want. You can decide to make it outside, or you can remove coloration, or you can make it on a very different place. You can just click and drag the canvas, and you can bring it to the side over here. You can double click on it always to see the properties of the chart, you can come back to the chart, edit chart button over here that we have just shown. You can decide to show in April. Also, you can add May if you want, and then you can come down here and add the values. For example, over here in April, I may have maybe 800, and then this one, I may have maybe 1000 or 900 or thereabout. So you can make it like this. And if you are starting with everything, you can check the graphic title, how the coloration and everything, the drop shadow, if you want to drop in a shadow, if you want to leave it, if you want to drop a shadow, you can. And you can see the drawing options. You can have a preview and check out the preview of the drawing, different kind of options that we have, just like we have explained in any kind of element that you have brought in. You can always come over here and have a preview about how it's going to look like. This is February, this is March, and this is April, this is May. You know, the graph is now complete, something like that. And you can always come to make it outside the label location. You can make it outside if you want. I think it can looks good also. You can see January, February, March, and you can see everything is intact. You can come over here and play around with the properties. You can lock it, you can show and unshow it if you want, and you can do many more things. So this is basically how to add different charts in VideoScribe. You can select it, you can change it to be a line chart. If you don't want a bar chart, you can make it a line chart, and you can say okay, and you can see it has just changed it to a line chart very nicely. And you can change it also to another type of chart, for example a pie chart, and you can say okay, and you can see it has changed it to a pie chart. You can always minimize so that you can see what we have just done. Okay, so you can see it very nicely and clearly done. Okay, so this is how to add charts and edit them in VideoScribe. Okay, so the next thing is I would like to create a very simple VideoScribe tutorial animation from scratch. So I'm going to select everything on the canvas and delete it. So I'm select everything, and then I'm going to press my delete, and it's going to delete everything. And let's say I want to start. So before you start, let's say I have my script written over here. I often get asked this question: why should I read more? Why will I bother reading a book when I can just watch a video summary of it? It's true that you can save some time this way, and there is nothing wrong with that. However, reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. So I start from this scratch from the beginning. I often get asked this question: why should I read more? So I can go back to my scribe and just come all the way to insert an image. For example, I get asked this question: why should I read more? So I can come to the search bar over here and search reading. And you can see different kind of images. Okay, so assuming I just search and I like this one, I just select it and I add it in the canvas. I can just position it over here. So this is the first one. Why should I read more? That's the question I often get asked. Now I have to add that text. Why should I read more? So I can come to add text over here and just add why should I read more, and add some coloration to it. Assuming I want to go with this color, and I say okay and select it. Okay, so I bring it down over here. Why should I read more? Okay, and there should be a question mark. So I come back to the text and add a question mark over here and select this. And so let's say I want to, so this is the first one. I often got asked this question: why should I read more? So I usually, when I start, I usually always consult with the text. Why should I read more? So why will you bother reading a book? Why will you bother reading a book when I can just watch a YouTube video summary of it? Okay, so I can now come over and come back to the canvas. I can now put a YouTube summary. So I can come over here and say YouTube. If I want to put YouTube, I can just search YouTube. And let's say I want to put something like this. To make it quite visible, I need to change the coloration of the background to something like, maybe something lighter. Let me go back to my white. think I like it this way. So let's say YouTube. So something like YouTube. And so the wording is, later I will synchronize with the voiceover. Why will I bother reading a book when I can just watch a video summary of it? It's true. One can save some time. Okay, so you can save some time with this. Yeah, with YouTube videos. So we can add a text. We can see you can save some time. Yes, it's true. You can save time, and I can add the color and then see you can save time. Yes, it's true that you can save time with this. And then I go back to the text again. You can save time in this way. There is nothing wrong with that. However, reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. So this is a good quote. I just select it. I go back to the canvas. I just go to the add text and paste it like this. And I can decide to make it centralized. I can make it one line and then maybe centralize it this way and bring it to center. I centralize it and then I change the coloration to something like red. Okay, and say okay, and I can bring it over here. So this is a quote and I want to bring in something that showcases exercise. So I can just come over here and just put exercise and search, or I can just go ahead and come to people over here and you can just go on. I'm looking for something that can depict exercise. Something like this can do. I can bring it over here. So I can say reading is, so we can come over, say reading is to the body what exercise is to the mind what exercise is to the body. Okay, and you can't train your body by just watching YouTube videos. So I can go back and I need something like that can tell me that this is not enough. I can't train my body by just watching YouTube. So I can just come over. I want to put something like a circle, something like this on my YouTube. I want to circle it. Okay, you can see I can just increase or decrease the size. I want to circle it and I want to put a star, something like you cannot. Okay, so let's say you can come over and you can search for star over here, or you can come to the arrows over here and search around, or you can come and search cancel over here and you will see it. This one. Okay, so this one, I just want to put it, you can cancel, you can just move it and reduce the sizing. Okay, to something simple. Okay, you can cancel this, and then I need it that this is not enough for YouTube video. So I can just put an arrow. You can search for arrow. You can see different kind of arrows. You can search for arrows, different type. You can select this one if you want. Let's say I'll go with this one, but I want it to face here. So I double click on it. I can flip it to look at the other side, and then I can select it and bring it down, and I can try to rotate it, select the edge, reduce the sizing, and then just put it this way and rotate it a little bit more. I'm moving the canvas and select it and rotate it a little bit more so it appears like this, something like it's not enough. Okay, so now I've finished the first sentence. Usually I used to put in the content based on until I finish the entire canvas before I move to the next page. So this is the first page and I make sure I got the wordings right, okay, up to this point. And you can't train your body just by watching YouTube videos. So you can't train your body just by watching YouTube videos. So you can't train your body just by watching YouTube videos. So the next thing is I need to select everything and click on the camera because I'm okay with all their positions. So I can select the first one, hold down the shift key and select the last one to make sure I selected everything. I can do that individually, but I prefer to do it once at a time and just click on the camera icon over here to give it a snap of all of them over here. So the next thing is I want to play around with the timing. So I select each one of them and reduce this timing. For example, this one, I reduce the animation time to 1 minute, and then the transition, I usually leave it at 0.5, and I want this one to move in from the top, and I want to have a drawing hand, something like this. Can do. Okay, then we can select OK as well. So that I finish with this, and then I can come to why should I read more. Just double click, reduce it to maybe something like 1.5, reduce a transition to 0.5, and say OK. Save time can go with 0.5 and say 1, 0.5 as well. And we can go to the circle over here. Usually circles and arrows, I use to leave them at 0.5 and transition 0.5. This arrow as well, the same way, 0.5, transition 0.5 as well. So you can see this small star, 0.5 also, and transition 0.5. And then you can come to this training image, and maybe I can make it 1 because I want it to move in, and from the bottom, and you can select the hand, select this one, and say OK, and we can select this one as well. All right, so virtually I have done everything except the YouTube, which is underneath this. I can double click on it, and I can make it also a moving, or I can make it just a type. Okay, you can type it, and we can change the transition to 0.5 and say OK. So I want to insert the voiceover. I can just come all the way here, select, and then insert the voiceover. I've inserted one. Okay, so I can come over here, select, and then go to the voiceover. I can see benefits of reading a book, and just select open, and I've inserted it. You can play around with the volume. I want to keep it at the maximum volume, so I click on OK. So let's try to preview what we have just done, and then see how we can synchronize the message with the voiceover that we have. Assuming I don't have any audio, I don't want to have any background music at this point, so I can remove the one that I have put earlier on. Can just delete it. Okay, can delete it. I don't want any background music at this point. So let's start from the scratch, and then try to coordinate and readjust and connect the images with the voiceover. So let's start from scratch. I often get asked this question: why should I read more? Why will I bother reading a book when I can just watch a video summary of it? You see, they are not synchronized. So I can just go ahead, can select this and use this hand. Or it's from here, I didn't select that, I use no hand, so I have to select a hand. So let's start from the scratch again and see from the beginning. I often get asked this question: why should I read more? Why will I bother reading a book when I can just watch a video summary of it? Okay, so a video summary of it. Up to this YouTube sign, it's okay, very okay. So now we have to wait a little bit after the YouTube, then we say it saves time. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it because it saves time. So let's say we bring in this circle, it is true, you can save some time, and then let's try to play from the YouTube sign over here. Let's play from the YouTube sign. Why will I bother reading a book when I can just watch a video summary of it? Focus and concentration. Okay, next. And then we go back to text again, and we can see reading improves your focus and concentration. Reading, much like running or listening to music, can be a form of meditation. Okay, so reading is also a form of meditation. So we can go back and add another text with another bullet. Okay, meditation. All right, so we add the same color and say okay. We can bring it down over here and increase the size. So it's a bit too much, so we reduce a little bit, and then we can align. So focus, concentration, and meditation. So we can go back and check meditation. So with all the distractions nowadays, people have really big problems with concentrating. So we have to put an image. So we have to put an image that showcases distraction. So something like, we can come over here and we can use any image that shows distraction. Maybe something like, with all the distraction nowadays, so you can search from those images. So something like this. we have lots of distractions. So for example, something like this can go, can just put this somewhere here, a lot of distractions. Now the text says that people are having big problems with concentrating. So we can take in big problems with concentrating. So big problem, Control C, and then we can come over here, come to the text and paste it. Control V, we can select and say big problems with concentrating. Okay, we can centralize it and we can change the color to something like blue and then say okay, and we can bring it over here to the top here. Big problems with concentrating. Okay, so we are still yet to fill the canvas, so we'll go back. So don't be one of them. In a single 5 minute span, the average person will divide their time into time between working on a task, checking email, and chatting with a couple of people. So in 5 minute span, can come back over here, add some text. We can say in 5 minutes span, we can change this to maybe something like this color and say okay. And 5 minutes span, you can increase the sign, can change it to minutes. Okay, select yes, and in 5 minutes time, people divide their time into 3. So we can come to the arrow and select any arrow that depicts 3. Okay, something like this can do. So we can rotate, we can drag it over here, so showcasing that people can shift this one a little, can shift this a little also, and then we can add the text. So people subdivide their the average person will divide their time between working on a task, checking email. So you can add a text, working on tasks. Okay, you can select this, working on tasks, you can put it here. Checking email is the next one, so we add another one, checking email. Then we can bring it over here, can draw back a little, say checking email. And the last one is chatting with people. Okay, so chatting with a couple of people or using their smartphones is the same thing, chatting and using smartphone. So we can add one, say chatting, use the same coloration and bring it in. All right, so chatting with people. And then now the canvas is filled up, so we can try to connect everything together. But the next step is to reduce the timing and play around with the timing. So for this one, let's say for the image, I select it and make it 5 seconds. And I make the transition 0.5 and I make it move in and I make it from the top. I change the hand to something like this and say okay and select this. I can come to the facts. Okay, facts, maybe you can select from here, can double click, make it 0.5 because it's quite small, change the transition to 0.5 and say okay. But I forgot, we need to select from this fact to the end of the selection. Hold down the shift key and select till the end. So we have selected everything because this is the position that we want. We can snap the camera on all of them. So we've snapped the camera and so we can finalize this focus. We can make it 0.5 seconds. All right, reduce the transition, go to concentration. Maybe we can make it 1 second and make it 0.5. Go to meditation as well and made it 0.5. Do the transition, go to 5 minutes, also 0.5, 0.5, and then go to this distraction and make it moving from the top. Change the hand to this one and then come back and change the timing to, let's say, 0.5 seconds or 1 second depending. Okay, 0.5, and then we have this arrow. We can have it at 1 second, 0.5 with the transition, and then we have the text. This one can take 1 second. Okay, 0.5 transition. This one also can take 1 second, transition 0.5, and then we have this one as well, 0.5. We can have this 1.5. So the last one is this one. So double click on it and make this one 1 second as well. All right, so okay, so now everything is set, so we can try to play it from the other end. So let's see how we can connect from the last end to this one. So you can play from this one. Just watching YouTube videos. So let's get straight to the facts. Okay, so we have to delay it before coming to the facts. We have to delay it here a little bit. So let's double click and it's going to go back to that place. So let's say from this arrow, we double click it and we'll create a delay of maybe 2 seconds. So let's play from the arrow again and see. By just watching YouTube videos. So let's get straight to the facts. Reading improves your focus and concentration. So we say, let's get straight to the facts and then we start. Okay, so focus, let's remove the waiting time and the transition time because it delays from getting to focus. So let's go back to facts. Straight to the facts. Reading improves your focus and concentration. Okay, so let's remove the delay because we just wanted to get to concentration fast. So focus and concentration at the same time. Okay, so let's play again. Improves your focus and concentration. Fine. Reading much like okay, so before we get to the next meditation, we have to create a delay over here of about 2.5 seconds. So let's play from focus again. Improves your focus and concentration. Reading, much like running or listening to music, can be a form of meditation. So let's make it from 2.5 to let's say 4. And let's hear again. Focus and concentration. Reading, much like running or listening to music, can be a form of meditation. Okay, so for you to mark the meditation right, we have to come from the concentration and make it maybe 5.5. Okay, so the delay is 5.5. So let's hear it again. Focus and concentration. Reading, much like running or listening to music, can be a form of meditation. Yeah, fine, perfect. With all the distractions nowadays, people have really big problems. Okay, so big problem, it should delay from here and then we can have, let's say delay 2 seconds, 1.5. So let's hear from people have big problems. Connect this. So play from here. Okay, I think this one moves too fast. So we can make it 2. And we can delay this to 2. Let's see again. All the distractions nowadays, people have really big problems with concentrating. Fine. Don't be one of them. Okay, so don't be one of them. This one should be delayed at least 2 seconds. So let's hear again. Really big problems with concentrating. Don't be one of them. In a single 5-minute span. Okay. Delay some more time, maybe to 3. Okay, so let's hear again. In a single 5-minute span, the average person will divide their time between working on a task and checking emails, chatting with a couple of friends, and using their smartphone. And I think this is perfect. Okay, so this is perfect. So this is basically how to do it. So let's try it from the beginning and see how it is done. You can remove this zooming out at the end by just coming over here. So let's try it again. If you want to see that page, you just double click, or you can come over here, double click on that image and you can see the full page. So on the preview, if you want to remove the zooming out at the end, you can remove it. The average person will divide their time between working on a task and checking emails. You can see it over here. So we'll remove it. Okay, so So we'll remove zoom at end. So we'll close. So this is basically how to do it, how to create the message. You can work from the scripts once you get it done, and then you can put in the camera, and then you can play around with the timing, and then you can try to align the timing directly with the voiceover. So let's play it one more time and see the transition and how the message is being connected from the beginning this time. I often get asked this question: why should I read more? Why will I bother reading a book when I can just watch a video summary of it? It is true, you can save some time this way. There's nothing wrong with that. However, reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body, and you can't train your body by just watching YouTube videos. So let's get straight to the facts. Reading improves your focus and concentration. Reading, much like running or listening to music, can be a form of meditation. With all the distractions nowadays, people have really big problems with concentrating. Don't be one of them. In a single 5-minute span, the average person will divide their time between working on a task and checking emails, chatting with a couple of friends, and using their smartphones. So this is kind of perfect, and in fact, this is the basics of how to create a simple animation using VideoScribe. So you can just carry along. You can use the text. I will share the text in the resource section. You can always use that text and follow along and reproduce this same video, and be very careful with the timings and make sure you align and connect all the video and the animations together. The next thing is we're going to try to export the video. Now that we have finished everything, we can come over and export the video, but you can come all the way here and save. Click on save to save the work you have done. The next thing is we can export the video that we have just created. So to do that, you can just come all the way to the share icon over here, or download or publish scribe video. You can just click on this icon and you have a preview of the entire video that you've created. You can add your logo over here if you want. You can add your logo inside the output video. You can add the logo directly from here, and then you can export. You can download the video on your computer. You can get a shared link that you can share with people and they watch it, and you can export it to Vimeo. If you have Vimeo account, you can export, or you can export it to as a PowerPoint. You can export it as a PowerPoint. So these are the different various exporting options that you have. You can add logo, don't forget. And at this point, let's say we want to export it to our computer, to the local computer. You can just come all the way here and click on download, and you have this option. You have different formats. You can download WMV or QuickTime, which is MOV, and then you can have the AVI, image sequence, and these are image in PNG and JPEG if you want to download different images from the video. But what I usually go for quality is AVI. And then as for the sizing, I used to go for 1080, which is the full HD version. You can increase or decrease accordingly over here as well. You can do 640 or 720, which is the standard HD, but I usually go for the full HD, which is the best size. And the frame rate, I used to keep it as 30. Next is you give the export a name. Okay, so you clean this one and say VideoScribe tutorial. And then you specify location. Where do you want it to export? You can just specify the location. I want you to export it over here and say choose. So let's say VideoScribe tutorial _1. Okay, so once I click on this, it's going to start exporting immediately. Okay, so once I click on this, you can see it is now rendering and it will start the exporting very nicely. So let's just have a preview about how the exporting is going to start. So this is rendering now. So I can see now it has started. It is starting to render. Okay, so now that it is rendering, I'm going to pause the video and I'll resume it at the end of it all so I can show you the outcome of what we have rendered, and then have a look at what we have downloaded and what we have created on our own. I often get asked this question: why should I read more? Why will I bother reading a book when I can just watch a video summary of it? It is true, you can save some time this way. There's nothing wrong with that. However, reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body, and you can't train your body by just watching YouTube videos. So let's get straight to the facts. Reading improves your focus and concentration. Reading, much like running or listening to music, can be a form of meditation. With all the distractions nowadays, people have really big problems with concentrating. Don't be one of them. In a single 5-minute span, the average person will divide their time between working on a task and checking emails, chatting with a couple of friends, and using their smartphone. So that's it. This is how to create a simple VideoScribe animation